As part of my job in IT, I would routinely take old computers and peripherals out of service and replace them with new ones. Whether it was a printer that finally ground itself to dust in the Nevada desert, a server that was out of warranty support and not worth the hassle anymore, or maybe just an old workstation that could no longer keep up with what was asked of it, I would take all of this e-waste and I would send it off to its great reward, the landfill. Some of it did find its way back to my collection of stuff, but most of it wasn't so lucky. Now though, the tables have turned. I got laid off, and I have no idea what my future holds. So instead of getting up and being a productive member of society these days, I float resumes. I go on weed patrol. I leaf blow the patio multiple times a day. And I ask myself the philosophical question, have I become the latest piece of e-waste, ready to go to the landfill? Another machine that's not worth the hassle anymore. While watching VTubers, of course.
Who's the boomer who sent this? Let me check. Chat, it's someone who's gifted more subs than you have, so you can't speak.
And after you've driven yourself crazy with all of this, wondering if anyone is going to take a chance on a middle-aged IT guy heavy on experience but lacking in certs, and you start to feel the walls close in around you, you remember a discussion you had with a former coworker about a possible YouTube channel dedicated to finding new life and purpose for old discarded tech. And you decide to take all of those unused video cameras and old computers you've been hoarding over the years and put them to work. This channel may not pay the bills, but it just might keep me from going insane. Welcome to E-Waysted. Old dogs, new tricks.
E-Waysted, not wasted. Cut it with a knife. Linux in its veins. Open source drive. E-Waysted, not wasted. Watch it come alive.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of E-Waysted, yet another YouTube channel dedicated to old computers and technology and finding new life for them. Think of it as part nostalgia, part practical solution, and part therapy for yours truly. My name is Tim, and today we're going to start with a problem that I have and maybe one that you have as well, namely the end of support for Windows 10. This all happens on October 10th, which is right around the corner. And by that point, everybody needs to migrate over to Windows 11. The problem is, a lot of machines can't do that. Now, for extra credit, you can look up the TPM 2.0 module, and that'll explain why this is. But unfortunately, a lot of computers that are perfectly good, like this one here, don't have that module. This is more computing power than just about anybody needs, but according to Microsoft, without that module, it's junk. So, what are my options? Well, the first option is I could upgrade, but, well, remember that whole intro about how I'm unemployed? Yeah, I don't have the money for that. So my second option is that I could keep running Windows 10, but that's a terrible idea. You really do need those security updates in this modern world. Without them, you're basically just flying naked on the internet. And look, we've already talked about this, okay? This is why your OnlyFans failed. Nobody wants to see that, so don't do that. Your third option is that you can go ahead and try to maybe fool this thing into running Windows 11. There are definitely some tricks that you can do to make that happen, kind of like the old Hackintosh days. But the problem with that is that, kind of like the old Hackintosh days, you may be one update from Microsoft away from having a computer that doesn't boot. And I guarantee it will happen at the least opportune time possible. So your next option is an alternative operating system. And I don't mean Mac OS. What I'm talking about is Linux. Okay, hear me out. I know what you're thinking. YouTube does not need another video dedicated to Linux. And, well, you know what? I get it. I am not a Linux guru. I am not here to talk to you about our Lord and Savior Linus Torvalds, and I don't run Arch. What I am, though, is a guy who can do about 95% of everything he needs a computer to do on Linux. This video will be edited on Linux. But one of the problems with Linux is that historically, it's never been good at gaming. In fact, historically, it's fallen flat on its face when it comes to gaming. But that has changed now. Thanks to companies like Steam and their development of the Steam Deck, we're starting to see distros come out that are not only gamer friendly, but even gamer centric. And one of those that we're going to talk about today is Bazzite Linux. Bazzite advertises itself as being ready to go for gaming basically right off the USB stick. And we're going to put that to the test today. Now, I am sure it will run my favorite game, in case you couldn't tell, Fallout 4. I am sure it'll be able to run Fallout 4 out of the box. That's not going to be a problem. What I'm really curious about is, can I get mods working with Fallout 4 in Linux? That's a different story. If I can do that, then maybe I will consider making the jump to Linux full time. And if I can get that working, maybe we'll fool around with some other things. How about trying to get DOSBox running, or maybe a MAME emulator? That might be cool. So let's go ahead and get started, see what Bazzite has to offer, and see how far we can get when it comes to gaming. Okay, so I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is Bazzite installed. Piece of cake, follow the instructions, you'll be fine. The bad news is that we're stuck with the onboard graphics. I tried a couple of GPUs in this thing, none of them work. I think the motherboard might have a problem. So that's kind of a bummer, but we're going to soldier on because this is really just a proof of concept. We'll just have the frame rate of a potato, that's all. So before we get too far into this, let's take the opportunity to look at Bazzite and see what it has. One thing I will say is that Bazzite is definitely not Fedora with a couple of gaming tweaks. I went to run an update on it with the sudo dnf command. No go. Doesn't like that at all. Too long, didn't read. Basically, it says we don't do it that way. But the good news is there is a system update icon here. You click on it, it does the updates, and it never asks for an admin password. Interesting. Let's see what applications come installed. We got Arc, which is the archive manager. We got BTRFS, which is great for doing images and backups. We've got a lot of stuff that you would figure out would be on a KDE desktop. There is an install of, I believe it's Waydroid, so you can run Android emulators on this as well. LibreOffice, it looked like it was pre-installed, but as soon as I clicked on it, it went to Flatpak and started an installation, which is cool because we got the pretty latest, I think we almost got the latest version. It's about a month old, 25.2 something. But keep in mind, there may be some applications when you click on them, it wants to do an install. Now, the software repository is called the Bazaar. So let's go to the Bazaar. And the first thing you will see is that this is really a gaming-centric distribution. There's more as you scroll down, but the first thing on the top of the list is gaming-related. And there's stuff on here that honestly, I didn't think was around anymore. I thought Nintendo's lawyers had stomped the Dolphin emulator into the dust, but there it is. And not only that, but there's a Nintendo Game Boy Advance emulator, there's a Super Nintendo emulator, there's a PlayStation Portable emulator, a lot of cool stuff. There's even Space Cadet Pinball in here. If you worked in an office in the 90s, you spent some quality time with that app. Just ask me how I know. But kind of cool to see. And you've got other stuff in here too. You've got, different categories with all the different stuff you'd probably need. I'm sure you're not limited to just this. You can go in and take a look. You can do a search for different stuff. What's a good package that I'm thinking of? Well, let's just see GIMP. I think GIMP is already in the graphic, but yeah, GIMP's ready to go. So if you are looking for a specific package, do a search, it'll probably come up. I think this is all linked to Flatpak. So if it's available on Flatpak, you should be able to install it. Steam works, obviously, and Fallout 4 works as well. I'm not going to show you. It's just, basic vanilla Fallout 4. But we are going to get the mod manager running. And the first thing we need to do to get mods running is to make sure that we have Proton Tricks installed. I know that we do. It comes pre-installed with this version of Linux. But in case you're trying to figure out how to do this at home and you have a distro distribution and you've came to this channel looking for my advice, well, first of all, good luck. But second of all, make sure you have Proton Tricks. And we sure enough do. So next step we need to do is to make sure that Fallout 4 is using Proton Tricks. And the way to do that, are using Proton. The way to do that is to right click, we go to Properties, we go to compatibility, and we force the use of a specific Steam Play compatibility tool. I'm going to pull the pull down menu, and I am going to select Proton 904. Proton 904 is the latest and greatest. You can use a beta, or you can use hotfixes. There's different things you can use. We're using 904. Let's close that out, and let's go and grab the latest mod organizer 2 from the internet. We go to GitHub to grab it. Make sure you were grabbing the tar file and not the zip file. Ask me how I know. Let's go grab this. Open it up. Now I've already created a folder called MO2. We're going to extract to that. Let's go back here to downloads. We'll go in the directory here is our extracted MO2. We're going to open a terminal from this location. We're going to run a pretty simple command. It is /install. Oops. Take the caps lock off. sh. And it starts the process. You select the game you want to run, which in our case is Fallout 4. We say OK. I don't know if you want to install plugins or not, but I figure it would be a good idea to have the option later on. So I say yes, and I select the plugin finder. Well, plugin finder, right? It is highly recommended to clean your current game prefix. We don't have to do this. I'm going to say no. You don't have to do it if it's the first time you're installing. You probably won't even see this message. But if you've had a crash while installing it, you're definitely going to want to do it. I'm going to say all done. Let's continue. We're going to go ahead. This is the default home directory. We will say OK. It says that this directory is not empty. Would you like to do it anyway? Yes, we would. And then it comes up with an error saying that this is outside of the home directory. Just hit continue. If it gives you problems, I mean, your mileage may vary. This is Linux. You never really know. Keep it in mind. But most of the time, you're not going to have to worry about that. The problem I had when I installed this the first time is that I was running a dark theme. I didn't think this was going to be a big deal, but I kept seeing these errors pop up until it finally crashed that I was running a dark theme and it wasn't compatible. As soon as I got rid of the dark theme on the desktop, everything was fine and it installed like a charm. Go figure. Not sure why that would be such a problem, but apparently it is. If that happens to you, remember this conversation. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this because it's going to do a download, but we'll be back when it's done. Aha, success. Go ahead and hit continue. Let's get out of this. Close all this stuff down. And before we do anything else, we're going to want to install the F4SE, the Fallout 4 script extender. In order to do that, we just go up here to our browser. We're going to go to Nexus Mods. I'm already logged in. I'm going to select my game. I'm going to do a search for F4SE. I'm going to download F4SE. I'm going to do this manually. Vortex, I don't have Vortex working. There's a way to do it, but I haven't done it yet. Maybe I will never do it. I don't know. But once it is downloaded, we go and we find the installer, the F4SE extender, or F4SE zip that we just downloaded. I'm going to extract it to a directory I already made in documents called F4SE. And I'm going to make a clever name for it. And once it is done, we will go back to Dolphin. We will go to our documents. We will go to F4SE, open up the file, or open up the folder. I'm going to select everything, copy it all, and I'm going to put it in the directory where Fallout 4 is installed. And in order to do that, the best way to do it is just to go right-click on Fallout 4, select Properties, go to Installed Files, and hit Browse. And we're there. I am going to right-click, and I am going to paste my 7 items. I have already done this, so I don't have to do it again. But paste those 7 items, and your F4SE is ready to go. Okay, now that F4SE is installed, let's go ahead and hit play. And you're going to see that Fallout 4 doesn't load. The mod organizer loads. Okay, here we go. We're almost there. Before we run the game, though, I want to install a mod. I already have some installed, but I'm going to show you how to do that real quick here. Now, this will talk directly to Nexus, so you can go to Nexus and download stuff directly into it. I have one I've already downloaded. It has the clever title of Main File Remastered. Now, this has already been installed, but we'll go ahead and do it again. It's really just a matter of selecting it, hitting OK. In my case, I'm going to replace it. And it's done. We're in. Now, the last thing you need to do is from the pull down here, we select F4SE, we hit run, and we should have Fallout 4 running with mods. Oh, part 5, intelligence. Let's get out of this. Yeah, it seems happier already. Cool. I had a problem. I had another controller hooked up and I didn't know what to do with it. This makes me happy. I love this game. I have an ungodly amount of hours in it. If you want to know what I've been doing with my life, just look at the count. It's classified information. It's so high. But Deathclaw. I'm easily amused. Look at us. Let's do a quick tour of the Commonwealth here. Just to prove that mods are working, let's go take a look at the bridge and that leads into Sanctuary here. A lot of bodies around here. You can already tell that Sanctuary looks a little different. If you're a veteran player, you're looking around going, hey, what's that doing there? Why are all these bodies strewn around? I already killed that damn rad roach. Yeah, look at that. The bridge is haphazardly repaired. Hey, where's the dead guy? And the dog. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I know, the frame rate sucks. Who cares? Well, I care. But we got mods running. We got mods running in Linux. You know, a couple of years ago, you couldn't even get the vanilla game to run without having to do some serious tinkering. So this is very cool. And, you know, this is only going to get better. This is an onboard GPU, man. I don't know what we're going to get when I, you know, try something that's, you know, a real video or a real graphics card. But I can only imagine. This is going to be very cool. Anyway, we have mods working. That's what I wanted to see. Let's go ahead and get out of this. I'm taking the win. I'm taking the win, but we're not done yet. Let's go see if we can get MAME running. Now, MAME is in the bazaar. I think we saw it here. Let's go ahead and just do a search for MAME. I've already installed it. It was just a matter of doing a double click. Now, the only configuration that I had to do was I had to go to General Settings, and I had to go to Configure Folders. I went to ROMs, and I put in the path where all of my ROMs are, and they're in the Games directory inside of Home. Once I did that, that was all I had to do. So let's get out of this. We don't need to do that. Oh, and one more thing. I came prepared. Get this rat's nest of cables here. Let's get this bad boy plugged in. Let's do 1942. Oh yeah, baby, here we go. This is one of those games that I was a lot better at when I was like 13. Not so good now. Woo. Woo. Dang it, I missed the bomber. I let Yamamoto get away. And a lot of them get away. You get the idea. Works. Let's get out of this. And let's give DOSBox a try. And DOSBox, again, is one of those things that's available in the bazaar. All you got to do is double click on it, it installs. Once it's installed, we're going to run DOSBox. Or in this case, actually DOSBox staging. Now, I downloaded Mech Warrior 2, a game I played a lot back in the day. Let's go. I need to remember the path, though. There we go. I'm going to set that aside because I got to test out my old DOS commands. Here we go. It's not really a DOS command, it's a DOSBox command, but image mount D. Aha, look at that. Let's go to the D drive. We'll do directory. There we go. We want to go into Mech 2 and we want to launch Mech 2. Whoop. Spelling counts. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Mech Warrior 2. We're going to game like it's 1995. 30 years ago. How did that happen? I'm going to be honest. I don't remember how to play this. And the one thing that is not working yet right now is sound. I'll tinker with that because, you know, I had a lot of fun with this. I put a lot of hours into this game and really enjoyed it. And I wonder what it would be like to play it now. So as soon as I get sound working, I'll give this a revisit. But for now, I have it working enough to play. And if I remember, I didn't play with sound very often back then anyway. Let's get out of this. Do I want to flee to DOS? Yes. Yes, I want to flee to DOS. I will embrace the cowardice. So we got mod support working, we got DOSBox going, and MAME working. In very little time at all. And granted, you know, some of this stuff was done behind the scenes and all that. You didn't get to witness the struggle I had with the wrong stuff I downloaded from archive.org. But most of the problems that we encountered were between the chair and the keyboard, you know, right here. Everything else worked pretty well. And this was really easy to set up. I'm pretty pleased with this so far. Now, is this going to be my daily driver? Ooh, I don't think so. There's no knock on Bazzite, but this feels like a distribution that has training wheels on it. And I'm not quite there right now. You know, I'm a little bit beyond the training wheel stage, I think. I could see setting this up on a dedicated PC and using it today. That would be, you know, for gaming and stuff, this may be the way to go. I'll have my daily driver Linux machine, and then I'll have my gaming PC sitting in the corner, you know, all hooked up. That's not a bad idea. But if I was just getting started with Linux and I wanted something that I could play games on, I would definitely give Bazzite some consideration. Honestly, I think the big takeaway from all of this is that maybe I'm ready to make the jump to Linux full time. How crazy is that? Granted, I'm never going to be able to get away from Windows entirely. My God, I tried to rip a CD the other day in Linux. Oh, yeah, never mind. But, you know, for everything else, I mean, how often am I going to rip a CD, you know? For everything else, I think Linux is just about there. Even photo editing, which is kind of a big deal in my life, Linux is at least in the ballpark these days. And it may be the cheap seats, mind you, but it's in the ballpark. So, yeah, I might just make the jump to Linux. We'll see. Oh, by the way, this guy. This poor star of the show with its dying motherboard. I have something in mind for this. Something special. Something involving Japanese poetry. And if you're curious about what I mean by that, why don't you hit the subscribe button and stick around? Seriously, there are a ton of YouTube channels that do stuff like this, so I really do appreciate you checking us out. We're the new kid on the block, and if you enjoyed any of this, do us a solid, huh? And maybe hit that like button. It would really help us out. So until next time, again, my name is Tim, and thanks for stopping by and checking out E-Wasted. We'll see you next week.
Watch it come.